Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Everybody, shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. It is August 5th. Happy New Year's. Wednesday, August 5th. I cannot believe it's August 5th. It is August 5th. Happy New Year's again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. We have so much to cover and review. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I hope everybody had a good, last night was just a little bit crazy. We'll get into Perez Hilton here in a little bit. Yeah, that was that situation in itself was just insane. And I hope everybody has checked in with their loved ones and hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you do, because, mental health is a real thing. And sometimes whether it's triggered by one thing or another thing, you just never know what can get a person there. So please, please, please make sure that y'all check on yourselves and check on your loved ones. And, I don't know. After last night, I was like, this is insane. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hi, Kadisha Lynn. Hi. Shout out to the members. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Anna, Pika, my mod, Sarah Lynn, Shasa, Laura, D. Marie, Tiny Peanut. We need a twerking rabbit for an intro. For emoji. I had a twerking rabbit. I did. And YouTube removed my little emoji. I think it's time for another emoji, actually. There's a couple of emojis that we need. Like, we need one that says, somebody said it, shut up Cuomo or something like that. That was one of them. We were supposed to have one like shut up Cuomo, because Cuomo gets on our nerves sometimes, at least my nerves. I don't know. Bruce emoji. There you go. You said, I like how y'all think this year has been fast. It's been slow for me. Well, yes, I think last year was pretty fast too. I don't know about you guys, but last year was pretty fast as well. Last night was difficult. Thank y'all. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We need a poll, LOL. With your background music, a poll. Thank you. Thank you, Coco's mom. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to you, Anna Banana, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. First thing I thought of. Well, and of course, I don't know. I had a very interesting comments, and, for me, we'll talk about Perez Hilton here in a little bit, but I come from the School of Social Work, just to give you guys a little bit of background, right? So I'm always going to have, even though when people feel like that's not warranted, they're right. It probably isn't. But I think it's just kind of like my background a little bit. And I can't really help myself that even I'm not one to do, even the worst people in the world. And there's a lot of them out there, really. I don't have it in me to say, I just don't. I think that it's situations like that that make people vulnerable and weak. And if there's anything, I mean, I just felt really sorry for the man that this is where he felt like he had to go. Like there was no other out for him. And that's not true, right? You don't have to like the guy. I mean, hell, I'll even give you guys an example. Y'all know I'm not a fan of Mr. Trump. When the shooting happened, I did a video and I said it wasn't okay, and I'll stand on that. I'm not like him. Don't like how I don't. But I'm not one to put some ish out there on somebody, because guess what, y'all? All that comes back. It typically does. For what? Typically, when you and you know what? Thank you for saying this. The guy is a blogger. He's been vlogging for many years. I have not always agreed with everything that he's done or said in the industry. I would agree. I've always side-eye him the way that he reports, and I would probably have to second that. He has led a lot of people in the industry, a lot of women in particular, to maybe help to have some mental health situationships. I would agree with that. But that just shows you how anybody can have an episode. Anybody can go through psychosis. Anybody can go through something like that. That just tells you that we are all human at the end of the day, and we're very weak at the end of the day, and that it doesn't discriminate. Okay? None of that discriminates. So we need to understand that this is happening to him now. How that can happen to me. That can happen to you guys. So it's the point. It's like we can't. There might be people out there that might be really, really upset at the way in which we report things, which there has been. But I would hope that they wouldn't take the time to wish me death or wish me or good riddance type of situation, because that's just not who I am. You're not going to get that from here, and this is the wrong channel for that. So, yeah, right, Teeny Peanut's like, some people don't like him. You're right. And you're allowed to not like, I don't like the president, but I'm not going to be like, well, he deserved it. No, I'm not going to say that, because it's just, I wouldn't carry that on, you know? I just wouldn't. But we'll talk about that later on, because I do feel like I think that as a commentator online, right? And you guys as subscribers and supporters, y'all are allowed to your opinion. And there's a way to have that opinion, right? Like for me, somebody saying, well, yes, and I love BJ. Y'all know she's on spot with the take, right? Like, putting that into perspective, this is somebody who's done X, Y, and Z, and this is why I can respect that. The one thing I don't like that I saw, and this wasn't BJ, shout out to my boo BJ, but the one thing that I don't like is when people were in the comments, and I saw it in my comments talking about, well, what kind? Well, it was a butter knife, or was it like we're evaluating what kind of an object the person did to self-harm. Facts matter, bro. No. Somebody self-harm, that's all I need to know. I don't need to know the size. I don't need to know none of that. They basically, to me, when I hear that, is enough for me to know that they're not well, and they need help. And based on the video and the images that I saw yesterday, he needs a lot of help. Okay? He needs a lot of help. And I don't know if that's, because of his past condition or anything like that. I worked in a I worked in a couple mental health facilities as well, guys. And when you see somebody, I know, and I responded to you, love. Chico, check your message. I was really confused. When you see somebody in that kind of a condition, like in real life, I'm not talking about online. I'm talking about like in person, and you're in a facility. It's different, okay? Because to be in a position, now I've checked out, I haven't done that kind of work in years, right? But I remember having to de-escalate situations. I have had to de-escalate way too many situations that I'd like to say, where the hell did my phone go? I'm gonna have to find my phone. Oh, there it is. And de-escalating is a great thing, but it's very it's a very tasking job, and it can really mess you up mentally. And so you just got to be prepared and all that other stuff. Seeing that, it just kind of brought me back to that time where it was like, oh my god. 17 years retired home nurse. home health nurse. You always see some stuff, man. You always see some stuff. So, yeah, I used to work at treatment centers. And I used to see some stuff, and even was commenting on the Insta post about him doing this stuff to him before they went in the house to get him. Wow, he was dropping maybe some signs. He was leaving some signs. I do believe he needs help. I don't wish him any harm. I just wish him and his family heals. I agree, Jazzy, and you know, anybody that, especially his children, especially the individuals, guys, that were hitting that link, because that's the video that I saw. I don't see the video anymore. I think Twitter took it out, but those videos where like the individuals were hitting the link and they were trying to de-escalate him. And it was like he was repeating the things that he was saying, like that people were leaving in the comments. No. That's no. But it's very sad. But okay, we'll talk about Perez Hilton here in a minute, guys. We got to talk about we'll talk about Keefe D. I have the last part of the video. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing. Maybe that's going to be a separate live because it's just so long still. As we're prepping for the trial. D4VD, David. So the Rolling Stone did like an expose investigation on D4VD, and we are going to talk about it right now. Okay, so my friends, I have they did like a 2-part expose. So they did this article called, let me see, is this it? A soulless demon D4VD path from pop star to accused killer. There's one. And then they also did a follow-up that said D4VD 10 takes from our investigation into the singer accused of killing Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, so this was like, it's a pretty lengthy article, guys, honestly. It's like a 2-part follow-up. I don't know if I like the purple, y'all. Oh my gosh. JB, thank you so much. Hold up, y'all. Let me do some shout-outs real quick, guys, before we get started. Thank you. Nate, thank you so much for the silver stars. You said, hold up. Okay, here we go. Thank you for the silver stars. Ramona, thank you for the flowers. Thank you. Podcast Queen, thank you so much for the UNC alert. Thank you. James, with the our resident comedian, he says, I just seen on the news that the police are looking for a runaway octopus. They say he is armed and dangerous. Wait, do octopuses run away? That's cute, James. I'm like, I guess they. So when an octopus is moving fast, is it running away or is it not? Let me know. Oh, I think I like the pink better. Y'all let me know. Is it you got me thinking here. James, they hop. Wait, the octopus. How do octopuses hop? I'm gonna have to see. The article is so long. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into it soon. You know how Rolling Stone does their articles? They like, girl, they write like full on movie exposés on these articles. Yes, they do. Yes. Sorry, baby bunny came in. Okay, thank you so much, Podcast Queen, for the jewels and for the jewels. Thank you. And JB, thank you so much for the love and hugs to Rabbit. Thank you. Aw, y'all, thank you so much. The support means a lot. You can also support by hitting the like button, please, and thank you. Thank you, JB. All right, y'all, let's get into this. Yes, I have not read this, and I told you all I have a subscription for their publication because I do read a lot of their stuff. An octopus can play chess? I'm sure they can. And Infamous just gifted 1 membership. Thank you, Infamous. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have read this. Thank you. I promise I will shout you out. I'm just trying to. And thank you, OG Annabelia. Thank you, love. Thank you for the jewels. Thank you. All right. Let me see if I can do a poll. So we got some time here. Have you read this investigation from Rolling Stone? They just dropped it today. You put a 1 in the chat if yes, and you put a 2 in the chat if no. Right. Go ahead and vote. Thank you, y'all. Now I'm waiting for more ice to be done for my coffee as well. Okay. You said, good question. I guess the ones he's using running away would be, you said, good question. I guess the ones he's using to run would be the legs and the arms to rest. That's a funny joke. Thank you. That was a good one. You said, yeah, octopus are very smart. I don't know, man. They're very scary ass creatures. Okay. Okay, so I got one yes. I think shout out to, is it just one yes? Wow. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are ahead of me. Okay, 1 second. Kadisha's like, I already read it. Shout out to you. All right, hold up, y'all. Let me see if the ice is done. 1 sec. All right. Shout out to everybody. Let me see if I can get a little bit to the corner of this. There we go. That's better. So a soulless demon. And you know what? I should probably do my little disclaimer because you know what? The YouTube bots, they try to like silence us the other day. Let me do this real quick. 29 seconds, guys. Hello, everyone. Please note that this broadcast is strictly for educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic purposes. It falls under the EDSA. While the themes, imagery, or discussions may touch upon some graphic, sensitive, or challenging topics, the context is entirely analytical and educational. This stream does not encourage, promote, or glorify any kind of behavior or any acts, but rather provides critical analysis and historical documentation. In particular, we talk about a range of topics that fall under EDSA. Thank you for watching, guys, and make sure you hit the like button. All right, yes, thank you, YouTube. This is educational content. We are reviewing an article from Rolling Stone. So a soulless demon, D4VD's path from pop star to accused killer. Now, I know, how did D4VD identify himself? I'm pretty sure he did not identify himself as a pop star. Indie pop, correct? Wasn't that the, because I remember it was on the transcripts. It's like, well, there you go. He's not a rapper. He's not an R&B singer. He's an indie pop star. Matter of fact, he self-identified when the cops went over to his house February of 2024. Y'all remember? So they should have put indie pop star. I think that's what it is. To accuse killer. David Burke's moody music made him a Gen Z sensation, but authorities say he was hiding a shocking secret: the gruesome murder and dismemberment of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So Caden Alvarez borrowed an orange shirt from his mom, wounded himself in a leafy garden, and boarded the subways from his Bronx home to New York's Union Square. It was late April 2025. He'd score free tickets to a pop event celebrating the release of Wither. Hold up, y'all. Yeah, didn't we say he's gonna be the blues singer in prison? Lord have mercy, don't say that. I'm not even sure what indie pop is. What is indie pop? That's a great question. Not bedroom pop. Stop, y'all. Y'all are crazy. How do I like my coffee? Iced coffee. Iced coffee. All right, here we go. So it says, Alvarez was a fan of the brooding, vulnerable bedroom pop. Oh, wait, they called it bedroom pop. That had been turned, excuse me, that had turned the 20-year-old born David Anthony Burke into a Gen Z sensation. The costume nodded to the cover of the D4VD's first EP, Petals to Thorn, and helped Alvarez win a $1,000 fan prize. So they called it, there's vulnerable bedroom pop. We're just making up genres now or what? Alvarez watched as the singer was ushered to the stage to meet the event's host. What's up, guys? D4VD said in a silky chipmunk voice. He spoke about Withered and performed an acoustic version of the album Closer Afterlife. But as he neared the end of the song, Burke's voice faltered. He shook his head as though fighting tears, abandoning the final lines. He let the guitar trail off into silence. Burke choked up again as he thanked the audience and his parents. I never cry, he insisted. Hold up, let's see. Mother told me he would lie. Lord have mercy. It's like, you can't even, let me see. I never cry. So is this supposed to be when it happened? Y'all. Trying to play it. Stop.
This song is like the craziest song to sing ever because it just.
I
never done an acoustic, have I? Nah, it's crazy. Yo, shout out to Mike, guitar, bro. He been.
I just can't even like it's like, what? He said he did this twice in a row. By the way, just days after she died. Yeah, you said puke. I guess one could describe indie pop was as music that's very melancholy, but then they like called it bedroom pop. You said it was a pop event. Gotcha. I believe it's the first one after Celeste. There's that. You said barf, girl. You said, let me put on a bonnet and start whining on the microphone. Well, I've seen, shout out to Mr. Eyes. He wears bonnets every day. I'm like, I don't have a bonnet. I don't, because I don't, but he does. Mr. Eyes always wears that bonnet. I think it's hilarious. He wears it. You say Rocco said he can do better than that. I'm sure. So, okay. So Emma, bedroom pop is a thing, right? It's a low fidelity subgenre of indie pop where artists write, record, and produce music independently in home spaces like bedrooms using affordable equipment and laptops. So Emma, this is an actual, it's an actual genre? I didn't know. I wish that as millennials, we would have had, well, we just didn't have social media the way that y'all have it, right? Because we didn't. You said strategic is hilarious. Yeah, he's funny. Rabbit, it's called bedroom pop because he recorded his. But did somebody make this up or did he make it up? Like, this is an actual genre, right? Where did it come from? Now I want to look into this. Anyways. See, I wish when I was a child, I used to pull the pots and pans. How come y'all didn't call that kitchen pop? When I was, banging and slamming and doing the most with the wooden spoons and everything. You guys didn't call that kitchen pop. The parents call that annoying. The parents call that, put that ish away. I'm about to spank you. That's what they call that. Y'all are spoiled. And y'all are spoiled for that. You said, isn't it? Am I lying though? Am I lying? Mm-mm. We call that kitchen pop. All right, let me stop, y'all. Shout out to my Gen Zs. My ADHD is showing. You could tell, right, girl? She's like, I'm calling your ass out. Your ADHD is showing right about now. All right. Yeah, it wasn't called kitchen pop. It was called I'm gonna pop you. Put that pot away. All right. Put the tortilla maker away. There you go. That's what that was called. All right. Anyways, moving on. Alvarez, who was in the second row, thought Burke was simply overwhelmed by the moment as he celebrated the release of his debut album. But a darker possibility has emerged. 2 days earlier, prosecutors claim that David stabbed 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez to death inside of his Hollywood home mansion to cover up his essay of the girl. Prosecutors allege the abuse went on for more than a year and that Burke had gotten Rivas Hernandez pregnant at 13 and talked her through an abortion. Later, they say he killed her and then dismembered her body with a chainsaw. Burke was not merely a rising star grappling with new fame, prosecutors contended, but a killer carrying a gruesome secret. 4 months later, on September 8th, one day after what would have been Hernandez's 15th birthday, Los Angeles police discovered her decomposed remains in the trunk of Burke's impounded Tesla. One detective would later testify that she was unrecognizable. We've seen the details of this. In April, after a lengthy investigation, Burke was arrested and charged with murder. Yeah, so 4 months later, okay, we read this part. Just a few years, just a few years, Burke had transformed from boyish homeschool gamer into a streamer era idol. He was a budding snowman, okay, with a strong ear for melody and charisma that counterbalanced a discograph. I can't even read, y'all. I'm like all this. Can y'all just like, it's like, I get it. You know, he came and he rose, and this is why I'm having a hard time reading this. It's like, we get this, that this is, he wasn't this, he just came from this, and then suddenly, bam, he comes up with Romantic Homicide. That was his breakthrough. And then Fortnite. I feel like he wasn't even in the industry long enough for us to even like, you know, someone like, I'm just thinking of artists, you know, if you were to think about, there's so many, if you think about Diddy, right? Diddy's history with the industry is very complicated. Whereas this he's young, but man, let's not adult. It's like, yo, okay, he got famous, streamed a song, created it in his closet. Yes, there's a lot of talented people that do this out here, but I feel like we give so many adjectives to glamorize like his humble beginnings, where it's like, okay. And we're still trying to figure out what even got him to this point. While legal experts caution against reading criminal intent into a violent art, the morbid tenor of Burke's work is hard to ignore. He not only sang about violence in the abstract, but also used death and gore liberally in his music and visuals. He even created a blood splatter alter ego named Itami, the Japanese word for pain. The alleged murder of Celeste Rivas has upended perceptions among fans, old friends, and people who work with Burke. Many who spoke with Rolling Stone for this article, including for the first time a source from his former label Darkroom Interscope, another young woman with whom Burke fostered an intense, look at this, intense online relationship, after still wrestling with how the person they knew could be accused of such horrific crimes. Okay. So the source at Darkroom Interscope, which again, I still think they are trash. That's just my opinion. Speaking on the condition of anonymity. Why do they always speak of, are they a minor? Are they a minor? They're speaking under the condition of anonymity. Are they a minor, or what's the deal? I don't know. You said Girly Pop was such a read, right? He spent most of the time in the spotlight due to the crime when he was a singer. There you go. He wasn't in the industry long enough for us to know his name without getting caught with the missing girl in the trunk. There you go, for celebrities. How do you guys feel? Let me ask you guys in the chat. Do you guys have a problem with people like, I can understand if maybe they're concerned about repercussions, but if you're speaking under anonymity, I'd have to wonder, are you still working with Interscope? Are you still working with them? And that's why you want to remain anonymous? Because you're still trying to, like, you want to talk about, maybe expose your job. Don't get me wrong. But you still, what's the word? You still want to stay there and get paid? Is that what it is? Right? Let me know. Let me know. Hold up. You said, I had no idea who he was. A lot of us didn't. We didn't know who he was until now. Honestly. Thank you. Hold up. The Girly Pop stuff is crazy work. It is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. You said, now I'm thinking about the Blue Man Group. Hell, I consider the music before that music before this ish. It is what it is. Hi, Ms. Amber. How are you? You said it implies that the industry is continuing. Yeah, this practice, and he wants to work in it. That's what it says to me. Thank you. Thank you. Just checking on my phone. LOL, I'm sneaking around. Miss Amber, don't get in trouble. Shout out to Miss Amber, y'all. Drop some hearts for that surprise witness. Thank you. Thank you. You said it applies, but that's the thing is like, that's why they want to speak under anonymity, right? They don't want to lose the job, but they want to report on the ins and outs of it. Anyways, I don't know. I could be wrong. So speaking on the condition of anonymity, says the label was blindsided. Burke appeared locked in professionally around the time of Rivas Hernandez's alleged murder. He was releasing an album. He was at a major inflection point in his career, they say. It's almost the opposite of warning signs. He was definitely somebody that in front of us was hyper-focused and wanted to work. Alvarez now views Burke's demeanor at the Wither pop-up in a different light. He remembers approaching Burke for an autograph and asking him about the lyrics to The Afterlife that had overwhelmed him. Burke, he says, looked stunned. It was just like complete silence, Alvarez says. Burke appeared seized by some sort of fear, as if the question had reminded him of a ticking time bomb. Adds Alvarez, was it the sort of guilt that was like eating him alive? Is this him? This is Burke and Caden Alvarez. Okay, well, this is him. He said, I was a fan. And shout out to the folks that I see this a lot in the Reddits. Shout out to y'all. We may not always, I'd be catching strays on the Reddit. Sometimes I just breathe and I don't do nothing, but that's all good. Shout out to the Redditors, the good ones. Shout out to y'all. A lot of the Redditors were fans, right? And they were kind of surprised by the news, just like many of us were, right? When all of this kind of went down. And so a lot of them, after finding out, they totally said, nope, we're turning in our bonnet and we're no longer fans. And I think that's amazing. That's great. People are allowed to decide who to support, stop supporting who they want to, right? She made me fold something. Presente. Hello, loves. I sent you an email. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I think I know what you're talking about. I forgot to text you back. Shout out to you, Suits and Stilettos. Thank you, love. Leave your bonnet at the door. Some people said we done with the bonnets and we're throwing it away. Yep. Interscope, with well aware of the issue with Lady Gaga and her producer. Says, what happened with Lady Gaga and the producer? That's a story I don't know. That's something I don't know. That's interesting. I feel like this is turn in your bonnets. Yeah, turn in your bonnets. Throw them out. Burn the bonnets. That's what they did. So shout out to, people are speaking out. And I think that they're allowed to speak out, especially if they're saying, I didn't know what I was following. And now I do. Shout out to them. Burke and Rivas met online either through a Discord server or on Instagram, as Burke himself told sheriff's deputies when they visited his West Hollywood home in February of 2024. Now, let me say this. I have on my notes, when we were reviewing the transcripts, we know that the first message on the iCloud, which when I heard this, I said, that can't be it. The first message on the iCloud between the two that they were able to capture was in 2023, right? But what about other devices? I have to kind of wonder, this is a preliminary hearing. They're not presenting all of their evidence right now, but maybe they were just presenting this. One of the notes that I had in my book, and it's still kind of in the back of just in my mind, thinking about this, is that they had to have at least had some kind of like back and forth before 2023. We just don't know that yet. That's what the iCloud capture, but we don't know all the other devices and all the other systems, right? We don't. So after her parents first reported her missing, this is what they say, prosecutors recovered chats dating back to 2022. There you go. Rivas Hernandez was 11 then, a girl with big brown eyes who loved to sing and dance and live with her parents and two older siblings in a modest stucco house in Lake Elsinore, a working class, what is it? 70 miles southeast of Los Angeles. Burke was 5 years older, and also lived with his parents in a middle-class Houston suburb. A terminally online teenager. I was going to say terminally ill, but that's not even the word. Terminally online teenager. He was earning money from Fortnite gameplay montages he posted on YouTube and making his first forays into music. Once Burke moved to Los Angeles around the end of 2023, he and Rivas Hernandez met up in person. So since we're saying 2022, right? This was dating back. Chats recovered dating back from 2022. I have to kind of wonder what other devices, what other chats. So then they met online before he moved to California, right? Is that what we're saying? He said all record companies at one time or another have issues and problems with artists and their problems. Yeah. Was it 2023 that they met for the first time in person? That's what there's, I don't know. This is what Rolling Stone is saying. You said could be the bodyguard? But see, this is where, and you know what? I'm gonna do this right now while we're live. Let me pull this real quick because this is where
or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at.
Did she talk at all about her relationship with her parents?
Kind of. She just said they were mean or whatever. She didn't like them.
What is your last memory that you have of Celeste?
We were at PE, and she told me, my friend, that she was running away, and she said it was because of her parents, and she was like joking about it, and she was like happy, like joking like she always was, and like it didn't seem real because like she was like playing around, joking about it, and
she was telling her parents she was running away. This doesn't even seem right. I don't know what it is about this. Yes, but y'all remember when if the article, which is quoting the transcript too, that they met sometime in 2022, she was 11 years old. Okay, so this guy, this young man, mom is saying that they were dating. When? I don't know. Let me see. Well, apparently everybody's connection. I saw a little weirdness happening too. Is everybody okay? I bet he met her as soon as he got his freedom from parents' rules. When did these two meet? That we don't even have a time frame. And then the last memory that they have was recess. But Celeste never even made it to high school. Please note that she was like what? She would have been in middle school. She would have had to. She would have been like starting the 9th grade when she died, guys. Oh my God. So everybody left and came back. Is everybody okay? I think it's a YouTube thing. Everybody's talking about a glitch. So this makes me side-eye this story a little bit. It really does. Let me see what else they say.
the next day she wasn't at school, and then like that's the last time I saw her.
Yeah, so she had run away, as you know, and we've talked about several times. She ran away in January of 2024, came back, and police got her in February in Hollywood, and then she ran away in March of 2024. Now, we're told that's the last time the family saw her, although there's some conflict over whether she came back after that.
Well, yeah, so it was interesting.
So, yes, Chico, that's what I'm saying is like, that's what the people were saying. So when did Gus, and mind you, we have messages about Gus. We don't have a message about that young man right there, right? And I thought she dated him before she met David, which means that she would have had to have been dating him when she was 11, 10. I mean, let me know. You said these two. Well, I mean, am I off for believing that something was up? Yo, y'all are okay? Let me know. Hopefully YouTube is doing it. Y'all can see me, right? I did notice it. A bunch of people leave and then a bunch of people come back. Everybody okay? Give y'all a minute. Let me know. YouTube smoking something. nowadays. So Alexa, which one is it? The story doesn't, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. That story does not make sense. And I do have the recorded tell-all that she said. I might have to pull it. I haven't watched it anymore. Initially, I was like, well, maybe the lady's telling the truth. But I'm like, well, based on the timeline that the detectives gave, I don't think she knew them. Huh. That's crazy work. All right, let me keep going.
Interesting to his interview. I mean, that matches up with what we're hearing from law enforcement, that that she had some type of troubled home life, and that was the reason for her running away.
So that's what they said, but I don't know, and I could agree that there was a troubled home life. What I'm saying is I just don't believe the boyfriend's story. It's so something ain't right about it. Listen, relationships before 14 don't count. I don't even remember my elementary crushes. Listen, I don't know, but I don't think the lady's being honest, and I don't know. Who am I? I didn't to say that. I just don't think she's telling the truth. Dated is pretty strong term for what they might have been doing in grade school. Yeah, 11 too, right? This lady says she knew Celeste's mom, but now how would they communicate if Miss Celeste doesn't speak English? Y'all tell me. That I don't believe that lady's she was being honest. Something tells me there's some icky about the lady. I don't know what it is, but that's just my thought. I didn't feel like she was telling the truth initially, but hey, I don't know. Maybe they knew Celeste because she was a student, but I don't know. Okay. Prosecutors recovered chats dating back from 2022. Rivas Hernandez was 11 then. Okay. A girl with big brown eyes. So she lived in Lake Elsinore, and let me see. We read this. Once Burke moved to Los Angeles around the end of 2023, he and Rivas Hernandez met up in person, and the relationship turned physical. Prosecutors say they allege that he first sexually abused Rivas Hernandez in November of 2023, and when she was 13, and he was 18. By then, he was a rising star with a major label deal, who'd opened for SZA on her SOS tour. A trove of messages from that time, some of which were read in court during the preliminary hearing in the case, showing Burke alternating between affection, playfulness, control, and cruelty in their interaction. On Valentine's Day 2024, Burke allegedly texted Rivas Hernandez that he would pick her up in Lake Elsinore that night. The two planned to move in together, and Burke told her it would be the most important day of her life, next to the wedding day, according to text messages read out loud. They called the plan Operation Awesome. So the next day, Rivas Hernandez's parents phoned the Riverside County Sheriff's Department to report that their daughter had ran away. Call logs reviewed by the Rolling Stone confirm her mom, Mercedes Martinez, posted a flyer on Facebook missing. It read in bold letters, "I'm distressed," she wrote in Spanish. "I've already filed a report with the police. If you know anything, call me." There's that. So hold up, guys. 1 second. Hold up. Give me 1 second, guys. Ooh, sorry about that. Okay. So missing, I read in Spanish, "I'm in distress," she wrote in the Spanish caption. "I've already filed a police report with the police. If you know something, call me. Everything happened so fast. I feel like he lost himself, his spirit, and the whole appearance changed. He became a new person." Officials, is this a direct quote from someone? Okay. Officials from both Riverside and LA County contacted Burke after finding his number in Rivas Hernandez's phone records. In body cam footage of the LA deputies' visit to his home revealed in court that they told Burke and Rivas that Rivas Hernandez was 13 years old, a runaway. He claimed that he had no idea she was a minor, insisting that they only met once in person the previous November. On a recent Twitch stream, Asia Collins, one of Burke's closest friends and a stylist on his Wither tour, recalled seeing the missing person flyer. She says she texted the person who posted it and told them the photo was of his friend's girlfriend. When the person replied that the girl was 13, Collins said she wrote back, "What the F?" She claimed she immediately confronted Burke, who told her Rivas Hernandez was 19, while producing some kind of proof. Collins declined on the stream to say what he showed her and declined to comment for the article. Oh. So they did reach out to her and she said, no, I just wanted to talk about the fact. Asia enters the chat. Asia enters the chat, y'all. You said his stylist. Did Asia recommend that silly bonnet? She's already fired. She's already fired. But she said she don't want to talk to she don't want to give a comment to the article. Okay. Which makes me wonder, y'all think that she's a witness? I think she's a witness, but yeah. When Rivas Hernandez returned home later that month, her parents confiscated her phone. Burke then allegedly visited Lake Elsinore and paid one of her classmates $1,000 to slip her a secret phone. In April, Rivas Hernandez's parents reported her missing again. Over the course of the year, she and Burke allegedly spent significant time together, even traveling to Las Vegas, London, and Texas. Burke's lawyer established through pretrial testimony that Rivas Hernandez's parents knew about some of the travel and had signed an authorized consent form allowing her to fly to London with him. Now, let me say something here. This is the interesting part of the article for me, because in the brief before the pretrial, everybody remembers the brief, right? The first document that the DA's office dropped, and it outlined this part that her phone was taken. I just didn't know that this was part of the timeline. I don't remember this being part of the transcripts where they're talking to the officer and they show the body cam footage, but it doesn't go from there to then saying that the following or that later that month that David then paid somebody in the school $1,000. I remember that being part of the brief, but I didn't know that the event of the officers visiting his home would then followed by David going to the school and giving the phone. Like this is like within the month. That's what they're saying, that this happened. So there was a lot happening within the month of February. I just don't remember this part in the transcripts. I don't know. Let me know. You said that's what he showed her. I mean, you said, let me see. They're all a bunch of liars, in my opinion. I don't think she ever looked at her. She definitely didn't look 19. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I do feel like there could have probably been, I wouldn't have believed my friend. Like, my friend is sitting next to me, stands up, and he's talking about he loves Gooners as he's watching children on the internet. Girl, that's just, I don't know. That's just me. They haven't said it in the prelim in detail in the brief. That's right. So I wonder if that's the event that follows, right? They visit the home, and then she returns home. They take her phone, and that's all in this. They're saying that this is in the same month. I don't remember this in the prelim, though. So maybe they were able to put this together. You know what I mean? Okay. And then it further goes. Prosecutors say the extent of the relationship became clear only after Rivas Hernandez's death, when the investigators recovered an old iPhone at Burke's residence and gained access to the digital accounts. They found dozens of photographs showing Burke essaying Rivas Hernandez, often at his home. One photo showed in the court depicted Rivas Hernandez wearing what looked to be a diamond engagement ring on her left ring finger, which had been tattooed in red cursive with the name David. Prosecutors say Burke later amputated that finger, when he allegedly dismembered Rivas Hernandez's body. Burke and Rivas Hernandez broke up in November of 2024, but the essay continued. Prosecutors say by March 2025, she appeared increasingly frustrated. All we do is have S and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself. April 22nd, prosecutors say Burke and Rivas Hernandez got into a lengthy argument over text in which she expressed jealousy over the relationship with Asia Collins. During the exchange, Rivas Hernandez threatened to reveal her illicit relationship and destroy his career. She said she wanted to see him, and he agreed to send a car. What prosecutors say happened next reads like a horror script, okay? So around 10:10 p.m., April 23rd, Rivas arrived at Burke's house, where he allegedly stabbed her to death and watched her bleed out. Prosecutors claim Burke then texted and called Rivas Hernandez's phone multiple times as he drove to a remote area of Santa Barbara County, purportedly to dispose the evidence. They say the messages were part of a premeditated plan to cover up the murder. The next day, Burke did a radio interview and attended his album release party before flying to New York and Texas for the Wither events. In early May, he allegedly ordered 2 chains from Amazon and a third one from Home Depot, and later dismembered her body. Hold up. This is wrong. Oh. See, this, early in May. But he kept her body. So okay, wait. The next day, okay, they're skipping a lot. Okay, keep in mind, because he was driving to Santa Barbara. Here it is. Prosecutors claim Burke then texted and called Rivas Hernandez's phone multiple times as he drove to a remote area in Santa Barbara. Okay, he did that within like the 24 hours, like literally very quickly. They said the messages were premeditated cover up. The next day, Burke did a radio show and attended before flying. When did he fly out? My understanding is that her body was in the property at least 12 days before flying out. So then early in May, he ordered all these things. Okay. He loaded his car with 11 air fresheners. Burke then parked the car around the corner from his house and left in late July for the North America leg of his Wither tour. And that was scheduled, that was scheduled to stretch to September. That's what it says. Okay. At the San Francisco tour opener and the other stop, Burke went all in on a funeral theme. He had a black hearse, delivered a white coffin, and marking the symbolic death of a musical era. The first night he wore a pink Hello Kitty sweater on stage, an eerie echo of the Hello Kitty sandals Rivas Hernandez was said to have been wearing when she allegedly ran away to be with him. He'd been gone 38 days and played 24 shows before the Tesla was tagged and towed on September 5th. 3 days later, the tow yard manager called police saying that the Tesla was emaciating a foul odor and attracting flies. After the news broke of the grisly discovery, Alvarez, like many fans, refused to believe Burke was involved. Now he says he feels sickened. Okay, it's fascinating how a person can deceive you. There you go, guys. Very much so. Then, Burke's friend and acquaintances who spoke with Rolling Stone were similarly disturbed. Some theorized that he was unable to navigate the whiplash of ongoing almost overnight from a deeply religious childhood home in Texas to the unsupervised playground of Los Angeles with all the access afforded by his newfound fame and wealth. Everything happened so fast. I feel like he almost lost himself, says Santiago Pasco, who knew Burke back in Texas. Oh, so friends of his are speaking out from Texas. He was really big on Christianity, and then that dissolved. His spirit and his whole appearance changed. He became a new person. Wow. So they brought in people from like his childhood past. That's interesting. That's what I'm saying, Darcy. It's like they're trying to hurry up and write the article, right? He flew out the next day at the launch party, so I believe the 25th, right? I don't know why I bring up the fact that he took so long to order the things to use to dismember her when he had attended the stub. Obviously, he didn't have time to, right? Right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's keep going. In an interview 1 month later, In an interview 1 month later after the murder, Burke insisted in the transition was super smooth when he left home and started going on tour. He said, I just treated everyone like they were behind the screen. I was able to kind of put the shyness and the anxiety aside and be like, okay, real life is just Fortnite. Even treat everybody like a video game. This is Fortnite right now. So again, they give a whole, he grew up he was born in New York and raised in Houston. But when a reporter once asked where he was from, he said the internet. Colleen, whose his mom was a teacher, his father did litigation support for law firms. I don't want to print. For all accounts, at least that's what's being said. By all accounts, they raised Burke and his 2 younger siblings in a strict but supportive household. Colleen encouraged her kids to find creative outlets, pursue their passions, while Dad would stress the importance of discipline and hard work. The Burkes were also very religious, with Dad would occasionally serving as a Pentecostal preacher. The only music allowed in the home was classical and gossip. Okay, so is it Oyolo? A close friend, okay, here's another close friend, childhood friend, remembers once trying to talk to Burke about Lil Wayne. Burke replied, I don't know who that is. Only after hearing someone play Lil Pump's Gucci Gang on the school bus in the 7th grade did Burke seek out other music. He got on SoundCloud and developed an appetite for 2010s internet rapper like XXXTentacion and pop punk bands like Paramore. Okay. But 2 secular exceptions had been made in Burke's cultural diet: video games and anime. Dawit was a devotee of both. He maintained a collection of video games consoles and let Burke stay up past his bedtime to watch Dragon Ball Z. In 5th grade, Burke started reading manga? Manga, that's what it is. So, which inspired him to start writing his own stories and poems. And that's where the anime part comes in, right? So his friend remembers Burke as a nerdy type. Another former classmate, so they interviewed classmates who requested to be anonymous, still recalls the sting of Burke's loudly calling them a loser, unprovoked in a full classroom. He wasn't super outgoing and talented, the classmate said, remembering the classroom's outburst as a surprise act of bullying. Burke, who spoke extensively about his upbringing in interviews, one claimed that he struggled to focus and racked up bad grades, leading to his parents' homeschool after the 7th grade. He hated it at first and asserted that after leaving middle school, he never heard from his supposed friends again. So his classmates dispute this version of events, saying that he reached out to Burke but never heard back. But Burke eventually came to see his isolation as a blessing. There was more times for video games and the internet. Okay. While Burke learned, Burke's social life mitigated online, he lived vicariously through the people that he befriended through multiplayer games like Fortnite and Call of Duty. Everybody I met online was older, and it was like adults and teenagers and people going through different situations. And they would just vent to you on the game. Burke said in 2023, and I'm like 15, 14, so I don't know how to be a therapist. But I'm taking this information, all of these different people. Oh, okay, hold up, y'all. Thank you. She's funny. Okay, I don't know how to be a therapist, but I'm taking this information from all these different people talking to me about problems and situations. I'm like, wow, this is really what humans are like. So this is like a regurgitation of stuff that we've already read. Every single opportunity I had to be a musical kid, it never clicked. He said in 2025, it only clicked in a moment of desperation after copyright strikes hit the popular song he used to soundtrack in his Fortnite montages. His mom offered a solution: make your own music. Okay. So he started using the band lab, which we've read into this as well. Sorry, y'all. And he made his music, and we know the story, right in the closet. He sought inspirations from Here With Me, inspired by the opening sequence of Disney's Pixar movie Up. And then he signed with Josh Marshall. Here it is. And his management company, Mogul Vision, Darkroom Records, and Interscope Imprint, best known for signing Billie Eilish announced a multi-million-dollar deal in September of 2022. Look at this. September of 2022, right around the time that they were supposedly online talking to each other. When we first met David, he seemed hyper intelligent, the darkroom Interscope sources tells Rolling Stone. He was just an artist that seemed to be blazing his own path. The singer's parents and manager at Mogul Vision did not respond to requests for comment. Meanwhile, Romantic Homicide, which has been building momentum since the summer, cracked the Billboard Hot 100s in the fall of 2022. So moody, it encapsulated the moody, intimate bedroom pop for young people just emerging from the pandemic that had been kept confined within their own homes, phones, and feelings for the better part of 2 years. Burke pushed his voice high before the melody falls into a catalyst lullaby. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to talk about Jane, y'all. We're going to talk about the victim. And I have to summarize the other stuff because we've already heard, like, Rolling Stone is not giving us an exclusive of that information that's already been put out there. But now we're going to talk about Jane, the victim, okay? Rivas Hernandez was not the only girl to catch Burke's attention online. Jane, oh, I'm so proud of her. I mean, yeah, shout out to her, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Somebody was at the door. Not the door, but it's like the laundry, and the laundry makes a buzzard. The baby bunny and the sitter. So baby bunny hears the buzzer, and she's like, the laundry's done. She says she's Spider-Man. Sorry, y'all. Jane, who requested a pseudonym to protect her privacy, had messaged him as a fan around the time Romantic Homicide went viral in the summer of 2022. Here's summer of 2022. They were soon texting privately and talking on the phone. One day, Jane noticed an icon on his Twitch stream. It was Itami, Burke manga-style alter ego in a blindfold and red bow tie. Burke had spent months developing the character, unveiling himself as a knife-yielding apparition in the Romantic Homicide video. A part of the D4VD verse, Burke was creating, along with his music. Itami was the singer's evil doppelganger who would surface randomly and commit crimes, he explained. He wears a blindfold for the sole purposes of not being held accountable for the pain that he causes, Burke wrote on YouTube. We were joking around, Jane says, and I said I would win in a karate fight with Itami. David said I could never beat Itami in a fight. We don't know Jane's age quite yet. We haven't gotten to that paragraph yet, but I'm assuming we're going to. So, oh man. I'm assuming clearly underage minor at this point, but we don't know. Okay. What Burke wrote next, in retrospect, he joked about him and Itami doing a violent act towards me, cutting my arms off. It was a joke, but it came out of nowhere. Jane says Burke was 18 at the time. And she was 2 years younger, okay? He was 18 at the time, and she was 2 years younger. Y'all do the math. The comment left her confused, but she thought they were teasing each other, and Burke was known for having a dark sense of humor. It's really eerie to look back on, Jane says, adding that the whole Itami character seemed to reflect what allegedly happened to Celeste Rivas. When the autopsy report got released, it showed how her arms were cut off. I was like, This is insane. When I saw that, my heart dropped. Shout out to Jane for speaking out. Jane now wonders what prompted Burke to joke about dismemberment with her. Was it his subconscious wanting to do that? Is it glitching, y'all? Let me know. Is YouTube glitching? Give me one sec. I'm seeing people saying she doesn't want to be classified as a victim, though, because they never exchanged pics or had. Yeah, no. Oh, gotcha, Kadisha Lynn. Okay. But I'm glad that she's speaking out and she gave like her experience with him. I mean, clearly he was talking to other young people online when he was 18. It's insane. Literally. Give me one sec, y'all. I got to refill my water bottle. One sec. This is insane. All right. Thank you, guys. You said my video keeps coming in and out. It goes in and out. Is it me, though? You're all good over here? Okay. It's glitchy for me. Pika, am I glitchy? Let me know, because everybody's saying, is it the app or what? All good over here, Rabbit? Okay. It's YouTube? Is it everybody, though? Let me see. Hold up, y'all. Let me test something real quick. Flojo, am I glitchy? Let me know. It's YT. Let me check, okay? It's all over. It's fine over here. Okay. It's either StreamYard or YouTube. That's what we're trying to figure out. I don't know. It just got here. It's all good for me so far. Okay. I see. It's all good so far. All right. It's very, Pinche Becky said it's like, it's going a little crazy. Good on my end. Okay. Well, let's keep going, y'all, because we are going to push through. Okay. Then it says, Jane now wonders what prompted Burke to joke about dismemberment with her. Was it his subconscious wanting to do that? She tells Rolling Stone, I don't know. According to Jane, Burke was generally a caring, attentive friend, but also stern. He opposed smoking, drinking, was extremely religious, and said he never had a girlfriend before. When he was in a bad mood, she says he preferred to pray instead of talk. Through their relationship, though the relationship was online and over text, Jane and Burke grew closer over several months. Then in the mid-2023, he abruptly told Jane he needed some space, explaining that they weren't at the same maturity level. He joked about doing violent acts on me, cutting my arms. It's a very eerie to look back on. She further says, he basically said, in a few years, my whole perspective might change on everything, she recalls. He said once, I'm out of high school. We could see if we could be friends again. For the moment, though, they were in different stages of life. He was touring. He had a music career starting. I was in high school and not really able to travel around to even hang out, she recalls saying. Jane says she felt hurt by the sharp cooling in their friendship, but she also took Burke's words to be sincere, considering them wise at the time. Unbeknownst to her, Burke allegedly began his actual relationship with Rivas Hernandez a short time later. I feel like she got the worst version of him, a different version, Jane says. It's just really shocking and saddening. Initially reluctant to speak for the article and fearing her words might be misinterpreted, Jane says she stepped forward so others might feel less alone in their shock and confusing again. Buffering? Hold up. It glitches. I restarted your phone twice. Could it be an Android though? It's glitching again. Hold up. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to see if there's a live stream that I could watch and see if they're glitching too. I don't know. It's like, is it just, you lost me? Okay, hold on. You said, hold up. It's YT. I've switched to different devices and they're doing it all over the same thing. Let me see. I just refreshed. Let me know if you guys are having the same issue, because it could be me or it could be YT, but I don't see anybody else. I'm not muted right now. Let me know. How could anyone know that they were following Blood Merchant lyrics? This doesn't prove he killed her. Yeah, I mean, nobody really knew. Now it's okay. I'm back. I'm waiting for the people to. It's right back. It's back right now. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all see me? Let me know. All right. Maybe it was me. I don't know. Maybe I just needed to. I don't see anybody complaining about it. Okay, you're good now? All right, it's fixed. Yo. YouTube won't let me be great again. It's doing fine? Okay. I don't know. It's not my internet, y'all. My internet is great. Okay, good. Now it's good. All right, I'm seeing. Well, do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Maybe if you guys hit the like button, it might stop it. Maybe if y'all share and support, it might stop the YouTube Illuminati from coming after me. I don't know. Let me know. It might stop it. You said I'm okay, but I'm in the UK. YT been doing it on and off. Okay, so it's been doing it to other people. All right. All right, I'm good now. All right. Hit the like button. Thank you. Maybe it might stop it. Maybe if y'all hype it. Thank you. All right. Dang, the rabbit caught me. It's the YouTube Illuminati coming after me. I don't know. It's YT. It's not you. Okay, good. Yeah, don't be a hater all your life. Hit the like button. Thank you. All right, let me stop this poll and hide it. Yes. Okay, here we go. So let's keep reading. Y'all, I'm trying to like, it's the YouTube Illuminati. So, okay, real quick, just really quick. And it's really difficult to process. So Jane, clearly she had what seemed to be maybe like emotional relationship with David, long distance. And then it kind of abruptly ended, right? And so there's that. So, I mean, oh my gosh, it's just a lot of these young people are waking up to see what was going on, right? So this is hard for some people to consume. Amundsen cloud gathered over Phoenix as Burke arrived to the shoot of the video for Romantic Homicide in August of 2022. The video's lead actress, Camille, remembers the sky finally erupting as they filmed a scene outdoor. I was covered in blood. It was pouring rain, and I was soaked, says Camille, who asked to be identified only by her first name for privacy. I thought we were making art. In the finished video, Burke and his blindfolded Tommy character walked down a street while lightning ripples through the sky. He dragged a suitcase that later crash open to reveal an arsenal of knives. In one of the last shots, Camille's character lies flat on the bed with stab wounds, dotting her abdomen. Tommy looms over her. A bloody knife drops from his hand. I never took it literally, Camille says. I honestly related to it because sometimes you have to kill someone in your mind and get over it. You know, I guess. Now, though the parallel between the video and the Celeste Rivas alleged murder was unmistakable, Camille can still picture Burke standing over her, fake blood smeared across the dress. It's crazy. I was just in that situation, she says, wondering if Burke used the shoot to reveal a darker side of him, wanting to come out. Burke says it offered a glimpse into his internal demons. Long before his music career took off, Burke exhibited a fascination with violence by his own admission. His earlier stories, again, and some of this we've known because of what's been tracked. Poems that scared teachers. I read a lot of gory science fiction, graphic novels, Japanese manga. He told Hunger in 2022. I'd be writing in my journal, letting them read them, and I hate my stuff sometimes. The fascination persisted through Burke, though Burke often undercut it with humor and self-deprecation. In September of 2022, he posted a poem to Twitter written for the point of view of a mannequin who'd been dragged into a dark room, torn piece by piece, limb by limb. The caption, "I'm so weird, bro. I love gore," he later confessed on a Discord server known as D4VD's Closet. In February of 2023, I used to be an addict. I used to be addicted to watching gore videos. After romantic homicide returned, often as the vicious culprit in D4VD's videos, in the animated clip of his song Rehab, Itami severs a girl's forearm, then spears her stomach with a flying sword. In 2025, visuals for One More Dance, filmed 3 months before Rivas Hernandez's death. Burke plays Itami, again wearing a blood-drenched shirt, and dragged D4VD's own body before it is stuffed into a car trunk. Like, oh my God, the gore. Y'all, please note. All right, it looks like everything's working good now. Okay, no more glitching. No more flinching or glitching. Okay. Thank you guys. I think I just needed a refresh, but everything was fine. Let me know. Yes, I've seen that one too. It's like, ugh. Yeah. Please note, very sensitive. Please. Well, I just I don't know what, I'm just, look. It's just insane. That's all. He should have stayed with folks' night and stayed his as right, but he should have stayed with folks' night and stayed his as their. But we'll hear. Wait, what? I'm so confused by your comment, love. You might want to rewrite it. Maybe I misunderstood it. The man is so evil. I wouldn't be surprised if he recorded what he did to Celeste. Who? We still don't know, guys. The lying in wait. Well, no, not lying in wait. Watch her bleed. Watch as she's bled out. As opposed, and we talked about this. Well, maybe they meant to say it this way because, as opposed, because he didn't call 911. Maybe he just watched and they're just describing what they think could have happened. Potentially, right? Keep going. He was very inspired by video games and anime, so a lot of the choices for his creative were built off of that. Says that the Darkroom Interscope source, looking back, it's quite shocking, but at the time, it was just an artist making an art similar to the things he was inspired by, and it's our job to empower the artist's creativity. Delete everything. In the pre-dawn hours of January 11, 2024, Andre, who requested a pseudonym citing privacy concerns, was coming off of a marathon night of gaming when a notification appeared on the phone. D4VD, his favorite artist at the time, was live on Twitch. Wait a minute. But wasn't Andre under a different name? Wasn't Sophia? Why is Sophia? Okay. On screen, based on the recording shared with Rolling Stone, Burke sat in the kitchen of the West Hollywood house next to a girl in black rimmed glasses and a hoodie. that covered most of her dark, curly hair. Burke talked about food, read comments, viewer comments, and occasionally chatted with the girl next to him. They were flirting a little bit, remembers Andre. Soon fans started to interject, apparently trolling Burke by invoking convicted S offender Jeffrey Epstein, and they recognized the girl. They were typing out Celeste. They were saying, Celeste, I had no idea what it meant, Andre says. At that point, the girl made a comment that alarmed Burke. While Andre doesn't remember the exact statement, the recording shows Burke turned to the girl and described the remark as too controversial for the stream. It's too controversial of R-ing kids, she replied, laughing, covering her face with the hands. Burke displayed a dumbfounded grin and then brought the stream to a close. He told the moderator, delete everything, everything goes. The same week, Rivas Hernandez allegedly got an abortion. According to the text messages recovered from Burke's phone, the teenager began to fear she was pregnant. In November of 2023, Burke responded by telling her to track her menstrual cycles. Okay, we know this. So, hold up. I don't remember. I remember The Wire because I reviewed The Wire. And I don't remember. This is a different account from The Wire. Somebody needs to do a comparison between The Wire and this article on what was said and what wasn't said. Because somebody write about this. You said, right? That was clearly Shelley. That was a statement. The stream happened in January. The abortion was happening in January. Then how did they say November? This is what I'm saying. It's like, is the Rolling Stone putting a different timeline here, or is this the actual timeline? Because they're kind of meshing things together here. Look at what it says. I'm not making this up. Like literally it says, at that point, a girl made a comment that alarmed Burke, while Andre doesn't remember the exact statement. It's controversial to R-ing kids. Look, it says right here, that same week, Rivas Hernandez allegedly got an abortion. According to text message, the same week of what? The same week after the stream? The same week after the stream? This timeline doesn't make sense. So why, but Kadishan, they're saying here, hold up. When did the stream happen? This stream was, okay, wait. In the pre-dawn hours, there's the date, January 11, 2024. Okay. They're saying that the abortion happened the same week. The same week, Rivas Hernandez allegedly got an abortion. According to text messages recovered from Burke's phone, the teenager began to fear she was pregnant November of 2023. So that couldn't have been the same week. It was January. It wasn't in November. So maybe that's... Okay, so I see it's a separate paragraph. So maybe it's just like a jump to a different paragraph, right? That's what I'm thinking. It's like a different paragraph. And they're just starting a new paragraph by saying that she got an abortion. They're not saying that it was the same week of the stream. They're saying that it's a separate week. That's why, that's what I'm understanding. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. It just throws off the time when they're putting everything together. Is it? Okay. Y'all see where I'm talking about the confusion, right? Because I could see where people could say, what? How do we go from there? Because they put the date of the stream, right? Which is January 11, 2024. That sentence should have actually gone to delete everything. Everything goes. That same week, Rivas Hernandez allegedly got an abortion, right? It's a weird sentence. It's a weird way to start. That's right. I think it is a typo. My bad. Okay, let's keep going. According to the text message recovered from Burke's phone, okay, November 2023, Burke responded by telling her to track her menstruals. Okay, we know this part. The text exchange showed Burke going from tenderness to control in subsequent months. He would dangle a future together, then turn cold or ceremonizing in June of 2024 when Rivas Hernandez worried that the last abortion hadn't been successful. Burke appeared to mock her. You would have had a baby bump, LMAO. You had hella period sense. What the F you smoking? Nah, first baby gone. Then later that month, excuse me, Rivas Hernandez texted your mom's know we had sex. She thinks that's the first thing we're going to do when we see each other. Okay. Some of this stuff, it's like we already know. Hold up. A little more. This is what they say they investigated. No, my friends, y'all went to the trial. You took it from Reddit's. This has been put up here by a lot of people. I still don't, not yet. I got a still face demon, soulless, uncomfortable, like a ghost in human form. I'm just skimming that article to see if there's anything that's like new. Yes, we know that she regretted the abortion. She talked about that. Burke replied unsympathetic. Okay. January 19th of 2025. As temperatures in the Atlanta plunged in the 20s, a crew gathered at a bonfire in ATL Studios to film Burke's video for One More Dance, a bleak ballad about a self-destructive romance. Those on the set remember Burke detached, calm, quiet, and withdrawn, with at least half a dozen recently acquired facial piercings. He retreated to his SUV whenever he was not needed. The video opens up with the Tommy dragging a half-conscious Burke by his leg and delivering him to a young couple on the crime spree. The couple load Burke into the trunk of the car, steal shovels from a store, and bury their victims alive. Oh my gosh. What stayed with multiple crew members was Burke's ease with the trunk scene. He climbed inside without hesitation, appeared unfazed as the door shut over him. He was just so comfortable in the trunk. One crew member who spoke on the condition of anonymity, here we go, he just hopped out in and his own free will. It was so weird. The crew member says they never saw a trace of the cheerful young artist Burke projected in the interviews and online. I got Tommy. I did not get David, they said. I got a still face demon, soulless, uncomfortable, eerie, like a ghost in human form. When prosecutors outlined the case parallels with the One More Dance, video stood out. They allege that after Burke stabbed Celeste Rivas, he drove north on the 101 freeway to an area near Lake Cachuma in Santa Barbara County, where a transit worker later found Rivas Hernandez's passport. The following day, he allegedly purchased a shovel. We know this. I'm trying not to repeat things that we already know. Hold up. I apologize to everyone for the way my bathroom smells. Okay, we know this. I took it like 2 hours ago. All right. So let's see. Anything new that they might have discovered? A resident remembered seeing the black dented 2023 Tesla Model X with Texas plates. Okay, we know what the neighbors saw because they actually did speak out. It moved around until it was parked by a tall hedge and sat there for a week, one source tells Rolling Stone last September, adding it's chilling. At the end of July, right before he embarked into the tour, Burke allegedly parked the car by the hedge near his rental home and was captured on video walking to the house. He played a show in Indianapolis the day the car was tagged as abandoned and performed in Madison, Wisconsin the night before the police opened the trunk and found Rivas's body. Initial headlines were vague but harrowing. The victim was so badly decomposed. Okay, we know this. Apparently he was cooperating. We know that that's not the case. Okay, right away it appeared that it was apparent due to the social media and pictures that we were seeing that he was actually involved with her. We made a choice to immediately step away from him and his business, the source says. When there was a 14-year-old girl involved with an artist, it's pretty simple. Okay, so look at this. His label, Confused and Shocked, quickly gave a way to resolve, according to Darkroom/Interscope sources. You know what I think is so interesting that Rolling Stone does not do, and I have to call it out? How come Rolling Stone doesn't call out the fact that Mr. Benjamin Gregor was on the stand and they were like moving around monies and there was encrypted messages between individuals, some of which were helping him in the label as well, and also with his finances. Like, I find this so interesting. But they put in here that the dark room and Interscope, y'all, they are so shocked, and they just didn't know. They didn't know nothing, right? But they're so dark, you know. So it's like okay, okay. How about that? How about this? How come they're not put? Thank you, Kadisha. Why don't we say this? Why aren't they putting this on the article? Maybe it is later on, but why isn't this out here? Y'all are giving Interscope like PR, right? We were so shocked by this. We had no idea. Y'all are giving, you know, all these other individuals like PR. It's so weird, but not really. Like, I'm not surprised, y'all. I really am not surprised. Okay, and it further goes. Right away, it was apparent due to the social media and the pictures that we're seeing. Okay, so the decision to drop Burke, came after Celeste Rivas Hernandez was identified. They say, though it took several months and the involvement of label lawyers to formally sever the relationship. Ay, Dios mío, Linda, because look at this. It took how many? It took several months. Yeah, he had to be charged. Right away, it was apparent. So then they say right away it was apparent due to the social media and pictures that we were seeing that he was actually involved with her. And we made a choice immediately to step away. No, you didn't. It took several months. Step away from him and his business, the sources say. When there's a 14-year-old girl involved with an artist, it's pretty simple. The source claimed it was a total break. We ceased all communication with him and his team the second the news of Celeste came out, and there's been zero communication. But what can somebody tell me how long was he was all over that website, right? I don't know. I'm wondering, like, I'm confused by this. Why didn't they say, why didn't they put This is interesting. Burke quickly disappeared from the public eye, though he initially was not named as a suspect. Prosecutors convened a secret grand jury, which we know was met multiple times. Okay. Let's see. Investigators guarded the case so closely they secured a rare court order. We know this. Through Rivas Hernandez's death, though Rivas Hernandez's death was officially ruled a homicide in December 2025, the determination was sealed for months, even from her family, as they found out in April about her autopsy. This is insane. But, you know, that's found out with everybody else. In March, as the criminal investigation dragged on, and many wondered if Burke would ever face charges, Jane, the girl who frequently messaged with Burke before Rivas Hernandez dreamt about him on his birthday, when she woke up, she texted him a Bible verse: "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." Though they didn't communicate in more than a year, Burke replied to Jane quickly. "To see you quote scripture is a joy," he wrote back. She says, I thank God for greatly you have blessed me more than you know, to see how the Father can shine a light through me that brings more glory to him than can ever be brought to me. I pray he keeps you in his arms and that you continue to abide in him. It was definitely shocking because I didn't think he'd ever respond or talk to anyone. I didn't think I'd ever hear from him again, Jane says. She believed Burke was leaning heavily on his faith as the walls closed in. Religion is like the one thing that he'll always have. When Burke was arrested a few weeks later on April 16th, he appeared in court with his prominent attorneys. We know this. Okay, let me keep going. The next day, a lawyer for Burke's families said his parents fully stand behind him and believe he is innocent. But Colleen and Dawood have yet to appear on any of the court days. Yeah, they didn't make an appearance on any of them. In testimony, LAPD Detective Corey Farrell claimed Colleen was aware of her son's relationship with Rivas Hernandez. Okay, and this is the part that I really feel like, look, we read the transcripts. The lady could have been aware of the relationship. Okay, But did she know she was she was a minor? That's really the question. And that's the part. And I know the lady's a teacher, she's a school teacher. Who couldn't tell? Who could? And I go back to that all the time. But I think we have to be very careful, because it's like, the vitriol is like ping pong level, guys. It goes from here to here to here to here. And ultimately, like, what does that get us? If we want justice, the person that did this, that's being accused of this, is David. And that's really who's on trial. But at the same time, it's like, there's so many adults. It's so hard not to get upset at the adults that were around the situation, that didn't stop it, or that didn't think, is that girl really 19? Because she looks like she's a minor. Maybe I need to ask her for her ID, or maybe I need to probe this. And I get it, but it's like the vitriol so goes back and forth. I just don't know. I don't know, man. But I think we have to be mindful of how questions are being posed and asked. On Instagram, Burke's younger brother, Caleb, admitted to being around Celeste a few times, but insisted he did not know her well and did not know her age. He refuted claims he knew what was going on and was protecting his brother. I don't think it sounds like Caleb was denouncing his brother. This is not true at all. I have not lived with my brother for years and was not very close with him, he wrote. We didn't speak often, other than when our families was brought on tour or he was visiting home. Caleb also denied exploiting the case for publicity when he attempted to launch his own music career in the wake of Celeste Rivas' death. I want justice for Celeste and her family, he wrote on the Instagram. So the mounting of evidence. So here we have an interesting interview. So there was a witness who spent significant amount of time with Burke as his fame exploded. She was a middle school runaway. Okay. Who witnessed Rivas spending significant amount of time with Burke. She was a middle school runaway, but if she or Burke told people she was an adult, it appeared they accepted that as fact. What? But if she or Burke told people she was an adult, it appears they accepted that as fact. Okay. Family friend Ruby Alonso tells Rolling Stone Rivas Hernandez was very studious as a child. And perhaps their age differences didn't register for some, because Burke often acted like a kid himself. Even as his career took off, he was still playing Fortnite, still singing songs about the movie Up, still putting Hello Kitty stickers on his face. The stuff that you see on the internet of him in interviews and posting on social media, that is exact same way he was behind the scenes. The darkroom Interscope source claims. I'm not sure if that was a performance, but for us, it was just a normal artist, a seemingly great kid from a really good family, just hustling. We didn't see any warning signs. Even the days following the alleged murder, people at the label found Burke to be extremely normal, the source adds. It didn't seem like there was anything wrong. They say shaking their heads over a Zoom call. So of course, looking back in the situation like that, it's very wild that he could have potentially committed such a harsh crime. It's a heartbreaking situation. Aisha Collins, the streamer who's seen the missing person flyer, claimed on Twitch that she was blindsided when the girl in the trunk turned out to be Rivas Hernandez. She called Burke a genius. She can't even read, not genius, genuine psychopath on her July stream, and claimed she's cooperating with the investigators. Okay, so there's other people that are speaking out through Rolling Stone. Rivas Hernandez's parents, meanwhile, have remained in seclusion. They did not attend each day, though they attended each day of the preliminary hearing. They ended with a judge ruling that there was enough evidence to send Burke to trial. Okay, so I'm just going to see if there's anything else, because everything else is just, we've already heard. Like, we heard about the attorney speaking out. Okay, we heard the DA. All right. Okay, that's it. I hope everyone involved in any way, has shape or form is held accountable, Jane says, so Celeste Rivas can receive justice. And then it followed by 10 takeaways. Well, I'm just like, I don't know if there's going to be anything different that we don't already know here. So they texted about marriage as abortions when Rivas would have been 13. We know that Burke stabbed Rivas and then dismembered her. Burke has pled not guilty to the charges against him. The recent preliminary hearing ended with the judge sending everybody to trial. So key takeaways, D4VD allegedly helped Rivas Hernandez run away from home on Valentine's Day, dubbing it Operation Awesome. Okay, we know this. One of D4VD's friend contacted a person who had shared a missing person flyer. Okay, we know this. Rivas Hernandez allegedly had an abortion in early 2024. We know this. And D4VD and Celeste Rivas discussed whether anyone knew they were having S. We know this. D4VD maintained an intense, online relationship with a younger woman by the name of Jane. Again, shout out to Jane for speaking out. D4VD's former label immediately dropped him after Rivas Hernandez was identified. This, I don't know. I don't know about this one because he was all over the. I don't know about this one. People can look into that. I don't think it happened that way. But that's just my thought. D4VD's label saw nothing strange about the behavior on the time of the alleged killing. That's what everybody says. Notice again how they don't talk about the finances, the moving, the everything. But okay, D4VD was so comfortable climbing into a car trunk while filming the video. That was new. And these are people that are speaking out. D4VD's childhood friend disputed Singer's claim about being abandoned at middle school. So that's new as well. Something that we learned from this article. D4VD became a new person after moving from Houston to Los Angeles based on what's been reported. I mean, I thought we just heard that they couldn't until the charges was. I mean, who's telling the truth? That's what I want to know. It is a long article, but I mean, honestly, we know some of this stuff already. Right? Everyone knew this crazy. It's crazy. Everyone knew it's crazy. This game of innocence until proven. Well, I mean, that's part of our judicial system, you know. You said the shows that he had severe lack of empathy. Unfortunately, many moms these days are not paying attention like they used to. A mother always knows something is going on. Well, you know, I don't know, man. And that may be true until he decided to take her life. Same story. We didn't know her age. She acted older. Wait days until, I don't think it happened the same week that they dropped him. I don't know about that. Because, okay, maybe they dropped him at the back end, but they didn't make it public. Okay. Because how could you say that you dropped him, but then it says after several months, they decided to, I'm not making this up. Look, it's in the article. Hold up. Let me see. Let's do a little word search. Several months. Here it is. Where'd it go? Okay. So the decision to drop Burke came soon after Rivas Hernandez was identified. They say, though it took several months and the involvement of, there was various record labels. So there's a contradiction here when it says right away, it was very apparent that due to the social media and pictures we were seeing that he was actually involved with her. When there's a 14-year-old girl involved with an artist, it's pretty simple. I don't know if that's a contradiction or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and then you have Mogul Vision, right? So it's separate. I mean, he was up on the website. And who created the website for him? Was it Mogul Vision too? I don't know. 2025, 2026 legal proceedings. They're just trying to keep face. I think so too. You know, that's what they said, right? Truly. You said, okay, let me see. He didn't have a reaction during the autopsy. I think part of it too is because he had seen the pictures, right? So they were trying to prep him for the trial. Maybe that's what it was. Moms can be in denial or fooled or both, you know? I mean, literally, like, very intense article, I think. A lot to kind of think about and keep in mind as well. So I want us to move on. I know it's kind of a hard transition. Of course, we're going to keep an eye out. Anything else comes up, but everybody's got, you know, doing their investigations. I want us to move on to Perez real briefly. I mean, we already talked a little bit about him. So I think he's been hospitalized. Is that correct? Because why are people saying that there's videos out here of him going live again and apologizing to everybody? Did he do a public apology already? Between like yesterday and today? Is it just me? Because I'm hearing that they're like public apologies happening. Is this true? Why am I seeing? Because the people on the internet are saying that that's the case. Y'all let me know. He's in the hospital, so I don't think he's on the internet right now, right? So like these videos, for everyone looking for a video, I pray for you. What? Sending him love now. So apparently this was Perez Hilton is apologizing, explaining, and making some promises after. Now that was before his illness. That can't be right now. Lord have mercy. Like, I don't think that's right now. Hold up, y'all. Because I'm not seeing. I mean, there's been a lot of panel shows about Perez and people talking about Perez and everything, but you know, his accounts have been removed. All the accounts have been removed. Oh my. All of his accounts have been removed. Have they? There's fan accounts. So his accounts, his other accounts have been removed too. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to read into that. He has been hospitalized and the family has been counseled. Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I forgot you had sent me that too, Vicky. Thank you. Vicky sent me local news. Shout out to Vicky. And I just saw Flojo sent me local news too. Hold up, guys.
Hospitalized right now after reportedly harming himself.
A graphic
Developing right now, celebrity blogger and television personality Perez Hilton is hospitalized right now after reportedly harming himself.
A graphic scene unfolding during a live stream at his Southwest Miami-Dade home. Let's go to Local 10's Julian Esperto, who's live there at that scene.
Yes, several 911 calls came into Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office last night. They were from all over, from people who were watching Perez Hilton live on TikTok, harming himself with a knife several times over. It was graphic, it was disturbing, but the fortunate side of this is the people who were watching may very well be the reason Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office got to this home so quickly and got Perez Hilton out before it was too late. Bloody, in pain, and desperate need of help, Perez Hilton's TikTok live stream Tuesday night was horrific. It sent Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office deputies over to his home on Southwest 77th Court. They called a man named Mario to come outside. That's the name Perez Hilton was born with. Tuesday night, he appeared to be harming himself with a knife. He said things like, "This is what you all wanted. It will be interesting to see what happens after you die, and why isn't it working?" His next-door neighbor, Dr. Maria Granadillo, said she's sad and she's scared for Hilton.
One, obviously, you have a little bit of fear because, you know, as a medical health professional, if someone can do that to themselves, they can do that to others. So, of course, I was a little bit scared, and then I was mostly concerned about him and the kids because I knew there were 3 kids in there. So
Wednesday morning, 2 women who seemed to know his family were led into the home with cleaning supplies. No one wanted to talk with us about the situation, understandably.
Girl.
Hilton previously said earlier this year he...
Oh my God, like they totally just blasted his address. We're going to have to like blur that. We're going to have to blur that, guys.
Suffered a medical scare that left him hospitalized with an ulcer and sepsis for weeks, that he was recovering and learning to walk again. He shared in June he moved back to Miami from Las Vegas with his children to live with his mother.
I know who he is. I think everybody in America, at least my demographic, knows who he is.
A couple doors down, Riza and Armando Gonzalez said to see not only their neighbor, but at the same time, Perez Hilton. Self-harming, it's tough, but they still have faith.
We had no idea at all. I mean, they're quiet people. I heard recently that he became a Christian. So we would love to speak with him if he sees this.
And remember, Hilton rose to fame in the early 2000s. He launched a celebrity gossip blog but it serves as an example that anyone really could need mental health resources at any time. Now, we're going to keep pressing Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and his PR team for any updates on how he is doing, both physically and mentally. Once we have any new information, we'll bring it right to you. For now, I'm reporting live from Southwest Miami-Dade. Jolena Esperto, Local 10 News.
Look forward to those updates, Juliana. Thank you. This is a critical reminder. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues, please take a look at your screen right now. That is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call or text 988. It is available 24/7.
Yeah. Again, I'm pausing it there. If anybody needs any support, the number's there. You also, if you know somebody that needs support, I've done it before. I've referred people out. You know, good to refer people out. Maybe a friend needs it and you can always refer them out. You said TMZ are kind of disgusting. Well, and I did see there was a lot of people that were posting. I mean, there was a lot going on, you know, it's a lot apparently. So also thank you, Flojo, for this. Perez Hilton team and family took to his website to issue a statement. So there's a statement to it. I'm sure it's probably a lot of traffic going on in his website right now. A website. Hold up, y'all. He's had this website forever. I mean, literally, let's see. I'll just go to the actual website if we can. You know, he's always posting later. Give me one sec. Where do I go to the podcast viral news? Patreon, Perez TV, viral news. I mean, he's like viral right now. I can't even find the statement. It's just so much going on the website. Hold up. Star Seeker search, podcast, controversy. Yeah, I'll just read the statement here. Many of you have reached out at a concern for Perez. We are incredibly grateful for the overwhelming outpour of love, support, and prayers, the post said. We can confirm Perez is receiving medical care, and our family focus right now is on his well-being. The statement continues, for everyone to respect his privacy as well as the privacy of his family at this difficult time. If and when we're able to share updates, we will do so with everyone as soon as we can. They explained before thanking everyone for their compassion, understanding, and continued support. So, of course, this comes from the Tuesday evening situation where Perez had a apparent mental health crisis. I'm also noticing that TikTok also took his other page. So the one page that I follow was like his celebrity. I didn't know he had another page, but apparently they've taken both pages. So this one right here, TikTok reported live stream to cops, took action to ban account. So when was this released? This morning. Perez Hilton alarming TikTok live stream caused the platform to speedily alert law enforcement and permanently ban his account despite reports the stream continued for half an hour. For 30 minutes, this was, you know, and I feel like the people that watched that and were engaging, oh my, because it was just so horrible, guys. TMZ has learned, and I've noticed that X has removed a lot of the footage because it was just so horrible. The TikTok US spokesperson tells TMZ, our automated moderation system flagged the live stream within minutes. No, it didn't. It took them 30 minutes to take it down. Let's just be real. TikTok, it took you a whole 30 minutes. And routed it to the U.S. moderation team for review. However, a moderator error caused a delay in the removal. There you go. The spokesperson adds, we proactively alerted law enforcement to the situation to help the individual get individual support. TikTok also pushed back on claims that the live stream remained roughly for 30 minutes, telling us that that's factually wrong. Actually, the thing was uploaded on X, and it was very long. You know what? I'm just going to say that because that's how people that were actually in the active live said it was a good 30 minutes before they took it down. So I guess people can dispute what they want to dispute, right? Okay. They're like, we don't want to take accountability for any of this. We're not trying to. According to the company, the original stream lasted about half the time, and several additional live streamers Perez allegedly started afterwards were each shut down within about 90 seconds before the account was permanently banned. Adding content of this nature violates their community guidelines. As we first reported, he was transported from his home to the hospital late Tuesday. He needs help, guys. He needs help. Okay. And he needs an evaluation. And I truly think that he needs, you know, a longer evaluation. Again, seeing what I saw, I wouldn't promote, you know, do this and take people. No, I don't. But in that situation, because people have said, well, it's fake or not, you clearly aren't in your right mind to be doing something like that. And I'm not there to evaluate whether something is fake or not. So I'm not even going to say that or put a blanket like that. People are allowed to think whatever they want as it pertains to that stream. To me, it looked like he was having a real mental health crisis. When I saw it, I literally thought that it was fake. It was fake, honestly. She's closing the door. The dog is doing the most. But yeah, you said TT dropped the ball. Well, they said that they didn't. It wasn't them. I don't know. But yes. But anyways, guys, let me do. So we were supposed to do Keefe D, but this has gone pretty long. Maybe we'll do Keefe D in a different stream, and I think it's warranted because the recording is long, and that's gonna take us longer. I'm gonna call it. We're gonna end it right now. Because I gotta get up. My back is killing me too. I think some people actually recorded it while it was happening and then posted it, maybe. Because there were so many people that posted it on. I was like, oh my God, you know? Yes. A lot of people did. I thought it was a prank too. I literally thought it was a prank because I'm looking at, now, mind you, I've seen somebody harm themselves like that severely, right? Yeah, the dog is doing the most. The dog's always doing the most. Baby bunny's everybody's always doing the most. I've seen somebody do that to themselves severely, right? But when I saw it, I was like, this doesn't even look real. What gave it away from me was his eyes. His demeanor in his eyes. It just brought something very similar to me of like somebody that I've seen in that like kind of elusive, psychotic state where what they're saying isn't even really nothing is making sense. Now that could be, insert whatever you might think it may be, but ultimately what I said, oh no, this is real. This is real. And then other images of him completely nude, and it's just scratched up all over. So this is why I knew. I was like, no, this is really real. I really thought. And so when was it Zach Peter who described it? I think this is the best way. Yeah. How do you know when somebody's in psychosis? Look at their eyes. I learned this. It's always in the eyes. Okay. So all of this might, like, the body is what, just look at their eyes. That's why you know. That's how you know when something's left. And that is true. I mean, that's just how you interact with the person and stuff like that. When I saw the video, it was literally like when Zach Peter described it as the movie Carrie, that was an accurate description of that. Because I was like, oh my God, this is what I thought it was fake. So no way. But then if you look, you're like, oh, something's gone here. So anytime you see somebody in an episode, look at their eyes, see what you can gauge from that, and that'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. So yes, but yes, this is how it was. You said he has a long road ahead of him because the scars are going to be a reminder every day, and he would be an example that I think it's okay to leave the internet. Like, he could leave the internet. I understand that the job is the internet, but he could leave the internet. I think for him, because he's a person that, has done some ish on the internet, he might need to. So yeah, it was bad. So I definitely don't recommend it. I think it's been removed, and hopefully it's been removed everywhere. You said this sounds weird, but I wonder, is there a target individual? Like, I'm wondering, maybe, I don't know. You said he's a danger to himself and others. Yeah, he needs treatment. He needs it, Let's see. Sorry. You said mental health over money for sure. Definitely. And I mean, we do it all the time. And the thing is, this is how it is. TMZ is reporting that Perez was under financial stress as well. Because I think Soul Power, I think he self-reported that too, that he was under financial stuff. I think there's a video out there. He was upset. He was crying. He talked about religion. I mean, TMZ is you know, TMZ is doing what TMZ does. But I also think another thing to put into perspective, guys, is that yes, completely respect his privacy, but I also want, like, it's so 20 years ago, that Perez Hilton would have been all over this if it was Britney Spears. Does that make sense? So it's like one of those things. It's like we have to be able to have some understanding, but at the same time, it's like some of the people in the industry that have been exposed or exploited one way or another also went through similar things. You know what I mean? So what I tell you is keep that in mind, but also note that, like, he's going to be okay. He is under the care of a medical staff at this point. He needs to get help. He really does. And it would be okay for him to leave the internet. He doesn't have to keep doing this internet stuff anymore. He's done. He's made his mark. He really should get a different type of occupation outside of this, because it's harmed him. It really has, you know? It really has. And it can be very toxic. And to me, whether you're Perez Hilton or whoever the hell you are, I would never wish any of this to anybody at all. You know, keep that in mind. Yeah. Yeah, Robin makes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of hard, you know? But I think it's okay for him to find a different avenue, a new career. That is okay. And he's had a lot of like experiences that I'm sure he can, that it doesn't have to be blogging or reporting or being this outside personality or anything like that. He totally could do something different, you know? Honestly, he's done a lot. You said to deal with it firsthand is absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Yeah, all of it. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like, and just the state of the world can get, thank you for saying this, Ms. Amber, because nobody's immune to this. Nobody's immune to psychosis. Like, all of us can go through something like that. Myself, anybody, right? That's what I'm saying is like, all of us can go through it. That's one thing, you know, and it's outside of our control when you're in a state like that. Completely. You're not in your right mind when it's happening to you. So all of this, and it could be a bunch of things that everybody's dealing with every day, you know? So yes, check in on your loved ones and, you know, make sure you take care of yourself. Absolutely. All right. These days, it seems like PTSD from being alive, sometimes it's a lot. Did I hope looking up at, yeah, you know, this is why you need to log off sometimes, you know, when someone in deep state of psychosis, they're not in control of their body. That's right. Just seeing the tweets, it's horrible. But you know what? At the same time, it's like, I don't, you know, it's sad, but at the same time, it's just not who I am. But at the same time, it's like, I understand the other side too, if that makes sense. Not that I condone any of it, but, you know, I understand it just because we've seen that other side. And, you know, he's also engaged in it when it was happening to other people, other individuals in the industry. And the best we can do is say, you know, I don't want this for the world, so I'm going to model it a little bit different. And it's okay to do that. Yes, I think that there's a bunch of lawsuits and other pressure and backlash. Yeah, I agree. It's time for him to take, he really needs to soul power. I think that that would be great. But yes. All right, y'all. Well, I am going to let y'all go. Because y'all are amazing. And I have to, you know, now I have to log off for a little bit. But I appreciate everybody here. Thank you guys so, so much. Y'all are amazing. I really want to shout out some people here. Hold up, y'all. Thank you so much, Zoe, for your 8-month membership. Love the channel. Sending good vibes from Wales, UK. Thank you, love. Thank you, Chico. Is it Chili? Thank you for the jewels. Thank you for the Civil Stars. Mags, thank you for your 13-month membership, love. Shout out to you, a year and a month. Thank you. Thank you for the butterfly, saucy strawberry. Mags, thank you for the sparkles. Sorisi, thank you. Sparkles, thank you, Mickey, for this. Melissa, thank you. Tara, thank you for the floating heart. Ramona, thank you. For the makeup brush. And Mel's, thank you so much for the floating heart. All right, y'all. We're gonna call it a day, or later on. Yes, we're gonna call it a day. We'll see if you go to the store. I don't know about you. I'll think about it. Can you give me a sec? Can I say goodbye to the people? Let's not be rude, okay? Can we say goodbye? All right. Jess, thank you so much for the sunshine. Y'all are amazing. All right, y'all are amazing. Take care of yourselves, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. Hit the like button. I know we had some sound issues, but I might crop off that part where we had sound issues. That way everybody can see the replay and not have any issues. Have a good one, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.